Today we're diving deep into the very first sneak peek for Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, Chapter 30. Get ready, because Chapter 30 is about to completely shatter the biggest lie in the history of the shinobi world, and honestly, most fans haven't even realized it yet. For years we've been told that Eida's omnipotence is this totally invincible, airtight technique, but that's just not the case. I really believe Chapter 30 is going to introduce someone that this godlike ability couldn't quite break. While some people still think Himawari is just a cute side character, the manga is setting up a moment that's going to absolutely wreck the fandom. For the first time ever, we're going to see the effects of omnipotence start to crack, because of the truth Himawari is finally remembering, all thanks to Kurama. Let's take a look at the events from this first sneak peek. All the action is centered in Sector D. We've seen shots where Himawari is showing off some seriously incredible power. In these panels, we see Himawari, Shikadai, and Chocho, and they look absolutely terrified because they're surrounded by Mamushi columns, those Shinju clones sporting the Rinnegan. These aren't just your run-of-the-mill bad guys. These are beings that can absorb chakra and adapt to pretty much any attack you throw at them. Himawari screams, "Get back, get out of the way." She knows her friends are basically just sitting ducks there. That's when we hit the climax of the peak. Himawari starts forming a massive tailed beast bomb. Now, think about how wild it is to use a Bijudama right in the middle of the Hidden Leaf Village. Remember the kind of insane damage those did during the Fourth Great Ninja War? One of those spheres can level a mountain or wipe a hidden village right off the map. Sure, her sphere is smaller than the ones Naruto used to make, but that just proves Himawari doesn't fully grasp the power she's tapping into, yet she's still got so much room to grow. We can see she's acting out of pure desperation. They even mention that it feels like these Mamushi clones are just infinite. Because of that, Himawari is willing to risk the village just to take out these clones that keep popping up. She doesn't realize yet that her power is so massive she might not be able to control it within the city limits. But let's talk about where this is all happening. This is Sector D. We know Boruto was headed that way, but he's still nowhere to be seen. I've got a few theories on why he hasn't shown up yet. The Kawaki conflict. We know Kawaki is obsessed with taking out Momoshiki. If he saw Boruto using karma, he probably assumed Boruto finally lost the fight to Momoshiki. He doesn't know about the deal between Boruto and the Otsutsuki, and to him, any cooperation with the inner Otsutsuki is a total betrayal. It's very likely Kawaki intercepted Boruto midway, forcing him into a pointless fight while the village is literally under attack. Technical limitations. Remember, Boruto admitted his flying Raijin Hiraishin isn't perfect. If he doesn't have any marks set up in Sector D, he'd have to get there on foot or use intermediate jump points. This creates the perfect window for Himawari to have her star moment, a tactical trap. Kashin Koji might be using his communication toads to tell Boruto that the Mamushi attack is just a distraction. These clones are smarter than we thought. While they're causing chaos in Sector D, the real main threat could be lurking somewhere else entirely. To really get the scale of the threat in Sector D, we have to realize that the Shinju aren't just enemies, they're an existential crisis for the whole concept of ninjutsu. The appearance of the Mamushi clones in Chapter 30 marks the moment where the old rules of combat just stop working. Look at Shikadai and Chocho, they represent the absolute peak of traditional training for Konoha's new generation. Their techniques have been perfected over generations. But against Mamushi, their strategies look like trying to put out a forest fire with a paper fan. Why does this matter for Himawari's role? Because Mamushi and his copies are basically biological machines made of pure ego and the power of the 10 tails, which just wants to consume everything. Their Rinnegans aren't just for show, they're tools for deconstructing reality. When they surround Himawari, they're not just looking for a target they might pivot and make her their primary objective. She's the biggest threat to them right now, and I'm positive even these creatures can sense something anomalous inside her. This fight in Sector D highlights a huge philosophical shift in 2 Blue Vortex. In the original Naruto, we were used to battles being won through sheer will and the power of friendship. Here, we're seeing a cold, calculated evolution. The Mamushi clones have no emotions. Their infinite nature that Himawari is screaming about is a terrifying display that the shinobi world is facing a force that doesn't follow the laws of physics or energy conservation. And that's the key. Himawari is the only element in the system that doesn't fit this new order. While Kawaki is trying to fight the Otsutsuki using their own methods, Himawari represents something else, a symbiosis of a human soul, ancient tailed beast energy, and Otsutsuki blood. Think about why the author is focusing so much on the Mamushi columns right now. It's the perfect test drive for this new reality. We're seeing Konoha, which was a fortress for years, literally splitting at the seams. Sector D is becoming an exclusion zone, forcing characters to push way past their limits. Himawari using a tailed beast bomb isn't just a cool move, it's an act of desperation that exposes the core problem of this generation. They have the power of gods, but they aren't ready for it. If Boruto is the cold avenger working from the shadows, Himawari is the natural disaster who hasn't learned how to aim her rage yet. While her friends watch those clones approach in horror, we realize the old ninja world didn't die when Naruto disappeared. It died the moment a young girl was forced to use divine power just to protect the people she loves. It's a tragedy wrapped in an epic action scene, and it's setting the stage for how Himawari is going to change the game. I think in chapter 30 we're going to see something even Naruto couldn't achieve. Naruto used Kurama's chakra like a battering ram. It was always shown as raw, blunt force and massive amounts of energy. Himawari, however, is a genius of the Hyuga clan. Imagine if her techniques didn't just have a new coat of paint, but that golden-orange Kurama aura was actually concentrated right at her fingertips. She's going to use the Gentle Fist Yukon infused with Tailed Beast chakra. Every strike won't just block a target's Tenketsu chakra points. It will literally detonate the clone, and its chakra flow from the inside out. It's going to look epic and terrifying at the same time. Even with their Rinnegan and regeneration, the Mamushi clones are going to run into a force that destroys them on a molecular level. It's important to understand one thing. Himawari isn't Naruto number 2 or even just a more talented version of him. She is the next stage of evolution for shinobi power, something Naruto physically couldn't embody and probably never even dreamed of. Naruto was always about volume. His path was about massive chakra reserves, endurance, and pressure. Even as a master, his style was straightforward, more energy, faster, stronger. Kurama boosted Naruto the way an engine boosts a tank. Himawari is the total opposite. She inherits Uzumaki chakra, but also the absolute control of the Hyuga. The Gentle Fist is the art of surgical precision. It's a style made for shutting down rather than destroying. When you combine that with Tailed Beast chakra, you don't just get a power-up. You get a transformation of the entire concept of fighting. Her strikes aren't just strong, they are terrifyingly accurate. If Naruto broke his enemies, Himawari is going to rewrite their internal structure. Every hit to a Tenketsu point, powered by Kurama, won't just be a block, it'll be an explosion. Against the Mamushi clones, this is a game changer. This makes Himawari the ultimate counter character. Remember, the Rinnegan lets you absorb chakra. But what if that chakra isn't poured into you, but injected with pinpoint accuracy? What if every contact is a pulse that shreds your chakra channels before the absorption can even kick in? This isn't a fight of power versus power, it's a fight at the level of the body's architecture. That's why Mamushi is the perfect opponent for her, and why that Bijudama in her hands is actually a sign of her inexperience. Himawari's real strength isn't in the scale of the destruction she can cause, but in the fact that she can delete enemies without wrecking the world around them. But since she doesn't realize that yet, she's a danger to Konoha as much as she is to her enemies. It makes her such a tragic character. She's too strong for her age, too kind for the ninja world, and too important for a future that hasn't even arrived yet. Her awakening from Omnipotence in chapter 30 isn't just fan service, it's the announcement of a new era. Now for the most important part, why is Himawari starting to remember Boruto in chapter 30? My theory is based on canon logic. Omnipotence is a technique that affects the minds of living beings who were present when it was activated, and it maintains that grip on them in real time. But let's look back. Was Kurama alive when Eida triggered Omnipotence? No. Kurama vanished after the Baryon mode fight. His current manifestation in Himawari happened way later. Kurama is a fragment of the Ten Tails that respawned recently. This makes Kurama an external variable, a singularity. He isn't carrying those rewritten memories. To him, the world never changed. He remembers Boruto as Naruto's son, and no divine power can change the memory of an ancient tailed beast who is literally a piece of the original chakra and Otsutsuki power. Let's go deeper. If we look at the information field theory that Amado touched on, Omnipotence works like a global software update for the brains of every shinobi. It rewrites neural pathways, swapping Boruto for Kawaki by messing with the chakra in their bodies. But Kurama isn't biological matter. His consciousness is a mass of pure energy with a divine nature going back to Kaguya's 10 tails. Chapter 30 might show us that Kurama's memory is written into the very structure of his chakra, which is part of the world's fundamental energy. To Omnipotence, Kurama is a ghost in the shell, an entity the technique simply can't see because he was in a state of non-existence when the signal went out. This is huge. Himawari doesn't just have an ally inside her, she has a living archive of true history. Imagine Kurama showing Himawari images from the past that contradict her fake memories. She sees a smiling Boruto taking care of her, and it creates this massive cognitive dissonance. But since Kurama is part of her own chakra system, Omnipotence can't just dismiss these thoughts as foreign. We're looking at an internal system crash. We might see the golden glow of Kurama literally burn away the veil of omnipotence in Himawari's mind. It would be the first time an Otsutsuki's divine power loses to a force born on Earth, even if it has cosmic roots. Even crazier, Kurama's presence might create what I call a truth zone. Anyone who comes into direct contact with their combined chakra might feel a flicker of doubt in their own false memories. If Himawari uses a Bijudama or a gentle fist strike infused with this chakra against the Mamushi clones, it could create a resonance that people feel even far away from Sector D. But the most interesting part is Eida's reaction. If she sees through her Senrigan that her technique isn't working on Himawari, she's going to panic. Eida is used to being absolute. Her power was her shield and her curse. Realizing there's a little girl with immunity makes Himawari target number one not just for Damon, but for Kawaki, who will do anything to keep the lie alive. I think at the end of chapter 30, when Boruto and Himawari finally stand side by side against a common enemy, we'll see a resonance moment. Their chakras will start to interact. This could pull them into a shared subconscious space for a conversation between Boruto, Himawari, and the Karma. It would be an incredibly cool reunion for the two people who share the title of Two Blue Vortex. The chapter could end on a massive emotional cliffhanger. Boruto will finally get a piece of his old life back, he'll get his family back. That's going to give him more motivation than ever before. I often think about how tragic the Uzumaki kids' lives are. Boruto lost everything and lives as a rogue, while Himawari has been living a lie, thinking her own brother is the enemy. Kurama coming back isn't just fan service, it's the author's way of bringing back those family bonds and the will of fire. In the future, I think Himawari and Kurama's connection will be the bridge to saving Naruto and Hinata from Kawaki's dimension, and maybe even the key to saving Boruto from Momoshiki. As for Mamushi, his ability to split makes him the perfect training dummy to show off how much the heroes have grown. But if Himawari really lets a Bijudama fly in the village, Shikamaru, as the 8th Hokage, is going to have to make some brutal decisions. Himawari might even become an outcast because of her destructive power, just like her father once was. The spoilers are letting us know that chapter 30 is going to be a total emotional roller coaster for all of us. We're on the verge of the biggest reveal in shinobi history. Will Himawari be the key to saving Boruto, or will her power destroy Konoha before the spell can even be broken? What do you guys think? Can Kurama really stand up to Eida's technique? Drop your wildest theories in the comments, I read everything and I'll be replying to you guys. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to be the first to hear about new spoilers and theories, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and ring the bell. Together, we're going to find the truth the author is hiding. See you in the next video.